Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his good friend Lance Lambert from Fortune. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
So I have been waiting to ask you this question. I like looking at data. I know you do. We got two housing price reports this week. One from Case-Shiller, which showed negative 0.8% month-on-month drop. And then on the same day, FHFA came out and said up 0.1%. So how can we be up and down at the same time in the same asset class? Can you help us understand what's really different? Because again, it's really how those things are put together, I think.
Yeah, so I'll start out by saying how I usually track prices is I do it through three indexes.
Okay.
I like to look at the Burns Value Index. I like to look at the Zillow Value Index. They're essentially very similar. They're cutting off the top of the market, they're cut and the bottom, and they're kind of looking at the middle,
I like
and
it.
you kind of get less of the noise of the median prices. I'm very wary of median list prices. I used to work at realtor.com for 2 years. I've seen some weird stuff in list prices. I
Yeah.
do like list price cuts, though. I think it's a nice little trajectory movement.
Okay.
Um, but the medians have been really messed up all year. They've been skewed
Mhm.
because the top of the market, and you've done a great job pointing this out to people, has just really slowed down, right? It's way
Exactly.
more rate sensitive, those top end homes, and we've seen the prices for those come down faster.
Mhm.
But more importantly, for the median sales prices, we've just seen fewer of their transactions relative to everything.
Exactly.
If you're a first time home buyer, you've pulled back, but you're more likely to be in the market just because rents are still high. You kind of have to do it. You have to bite the bullet.
Yep. Yeah. It's a life choice where a luxury home is just you can always delay a luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the median sales prices have legitimately been skewed lower than prices have actually dropped in the market, right?
I
Because at the
agree.
end of the day, all that really matters is comps. Our prices, our homes, is this home selling for less now than it would have 6 months ago or more? That's really all
Yep.
that matters, right?
I
And we're
agree.
trying to look at these indexes to get a feel for that. But the median sales price is straight up skewed. Now the Case-Shiller, and it's the FHA one, correct?
Correct. Correct.
Which I follow more the Schiller. That's my third. That's actually the one that I put the most weight on. That's almost like the gold standard for me for national.
Mhm.
But I think it's interesting to look at these two because the FHA one is looking at more of the middle market, kind of like how the Zillow and Burns Value
Yeah.
Index.
Yeah. And
And
let's really talk about that, right? Because again, Case-Shiller, when you look at kind of the components, again, even if you look at the top 20, those are big cities. And
yeah,
generally speaking, big cities have big prices, right? Is
yeah,
that reasonable?
I think that's true. Now I look more at the national index,
Sure.
but the thing that I would say, the Schiller's everything, right? So the
Yep.
national one. So you're going to get some of the noise if higher price homes are falling faster. You're going to see that, right? The
Uh-huh.
thing that I would say about the Schiller that's different than the median sales prices, the median sales prices are straight up skewed because there's less of the bigger homes in the sales transacting.
Correct. Yeah,
The
that's
Schiller
correct.
one's not skewed. It's showing bigger, it's showing everything. And so if the bigger homes are falling more, it's going to pull it more, right?
Correct.
So, in my mind, home prices, because the Case-Shiller seasonally adjusted is down 2.2. Home prices to me, and because that's what I use, are down 2.2.
Yep.
But I think it's also very important to look at this FHA, which showed,
Mhm.
a
Up.
little bit up.
Yeah.
And
I find that interesting just because so many people are like housing has to have a negative number on. I'm like, guys, you don't understand what's going on. The nation is not Phoenix, Arizona, right? It's not Phoenix. And there's so many people that think Phoenix is Phoenix and Vegas and Austin. I'm like, those are three important markets, but they're three of 584 markets or whatever the number is. It's funny that people just distort and they only think negative. And FHFA was up 0.1. I'm like, where are you at, Crash Bros?
so the Case-Shiller being down 2.2 seasonally adjusted, that's the second biggest home price correction in terms of drop, just
Yep.
drop,
Yep.
recorded in post World War II history for the Case-Shiller. Now, one
Mhm.
hand, that's because home prices have rarely dropped.
Right.
And the other hand is, and I posted a meme of this, of like the West and high priced homes, luxury, second homes, Austin, and Open Door, all digging the hole while
Yeah,
everybody
exactly.
else in the country is kind of looking at them do all the heavy lifting for this correction. So, it looks, prices have corrected nationally, at least the Case-Shiller, for everything, but not every home's corrected. Not every market is corrected. Not every price tier has corrected. So the story varies a lot. And, I'll get comments from readers when I post stuff about, like the Case-Shiller reading, and they're like, well, I don't see it. I don't see it in my market. And then I'll talk to people in Austin who work in the industry, and they're kind of panicked right now because there's been such a change. They went up 70% and now they're already down 10. The story varies. And like you say, your buy box, you have to know your buy box. And
it's all that matters.
you can't look at these national headlines and even the indexes, either one, and know your market. You're going to have to go know your market. You're going to have to do the work.
Absolutely. And then I think Mark Zandi actually put out a summary, which I'll let you summarize, really what the delta or the difference is between what we got in Case-Shiller and FHFA.
Yeah, he's saying that, the FHA it is more of the middle of the market. Case-Shiller's everything, and it's the top tier that's fallen the fastest. And so that's probably why Shiller has dropped while FHA stayed just went up just a little bit.
Yeah, went up 0.1. Again, this is what's going on, folks. Again, as Lance talks about, it's fun for guys like us who are data geeks and we have a long history of looking at it to try to predict or see what's going on, which is I just love this stuff. But if you're an investor, you don't have to worry about the country. You don't even have to worry about your state. Go figure out your buy box, look at it, see what's going on. There are some luxury is very distorted, as I've highlighted, which distorts the median and all of those things. So again, go learn your buy box, learn average, only do great deals, only 30-year fixed rate debt. Lance, where can people find you?
At News Lambert.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.